There are protests right now in 20 cities not over the redefinition of marriage, not even over the transgender stuff, which is the next stage of that part of the sexual revolution, over Balenciaga. You remember the Balenciaga campaign? We've talked about it on this show, and I keep bringing it up because I don't want this story to get memory hold. Balenciaga, a very, very high-end luxury fashion house that has celebrity relationships with every famous person under the sun, certainly all the big prominent libs who go to the elite parties. They pushed advertising campaigns that sexualized children. Little kids in them frowning, looking unhappy, holding S&M teddy bears. And in another advertising campaign, you had the text to a Supreme Court decision about child pornography, referencing another Supreme Court decision about child pornography. And the decision that it was referencing in that very meticulously placed court case, the decision it was referencing was one which held the alleged constitutionality of simulated child pornography. So the whole thing was super weird. You saw satanic references to Baal, one of the most prominent demons ever worshipped in one of their advertising campaigns. So the whole thing was really sick, really weird, and it involved sex stuff and kids, and people are rightly furious about it. So what is happening? Well, Balenciaga is apologizing. Balenciaga tried to do damage control right away, and this was a little awkward for the liberals who reacted to the conservatives observing this weird sex stuff by saying, this is nothing, this is not a big deal. You guys are tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists. What are you talking about? And then Balenciaga goes, wipes their social media networks, Instagram, all gone other than a major apology, says that they were going to seek a lawsuit against the person who put the photo shoot together. So that really undercut the libs who were saying this is nothing burger, it's no big deal. But then Balenciaga otherwise was largely silent about this until now. Demna Gvasalia is a Georgian fashion designer. He's currently the creative director for Balenciaga. Super tight with Kim Kardashian. He's collaborated with Kanye West before. Kanye, oddly enough, during his sort of performance art presidential campaign, continues to wear Balenciaga clothing, and I think actually defended this guy, Demna Gvasalia, even amid his seemingly extremely super-duper far-right campaign. He's defending Balenciaga and all these kind of weird liberal creative types who are pushing the kid sex stuff, which is very, very strange. But regardless, that's just a little bit of a footnote, but a strange footnote on the story. Demna says, I want to personally apologize for the wrong artistic choice of concept for the gifting campaign with the kids, and I take my responsibility. It was inappropriate to have kids promote objects that had nothing to do with them, the 41-year-old posted. Okay, just want to push back a little here. They were holding teddy bears. So the teddy bears happened to be wrapped up in this weird S&M leather sex stuff. But you can't say that the object they were holding had nothing to do with them. The object they were holding was a teddy bear, which has a lot to do with little kids. Part of what's so creepy here is not just that there were kids in the ad, but that the kids were holding a kid object that had been sexualized. It's weird that the kids were in the ad at all, but just the fact that a little teddy bear was being so sexualized, that is also weird. So that's already making me think, hold on, wait, what? You want to apologize for the artistic choice of concept, but now it doesn't seem like you're being totally honest if you're saying an S&M teddy bear has nothing to do with kids. He says, as much as I would sometimes like to provoke a thought through my work, I would never have an intention to do that with such an awful subject as child abuse that I condemn. Period. Now, this is another little weird thing. I just noticed this now in the way the sentence is written. He says, I would never do it with such an awful subject as child abuse that I condemn. He doesn't say I would never do it with child abuse, comma, which I condemn, which would say I condemn child abuse per se. He says, I would never engage with an awful subject as child abuse that I condemn. The difference being that because he's not condemning child abuse as a category, there might be some kind of child abuse that he does not condemn. It would be like saying, I'd hold up a blue M&M and I say, these are the M&Ms that I love. I love the blue M&Ms. The other M&Ms, the jury is out. Or I could say, these are the M&Ms, which I love. That would say, I love these M&Ms. Is Demna Gvasalia thinking that deeply about the syntax here? I'm not so sure. But that is just kind of weird taken in the context of the whole statement. Because then he goes on. He says, I need to learn from this, listen, and engage with child protection organizations to know how I can contribute and help on this terrible subject. I apologize to anyone offended by the visuals, and Balenciaga has guaranteed that adequate measures will be taken, not only to avoid similar mistakes in the future, but also to take accountability in protecting child welfare in every way we can. Again here, you see kind of a fake apology. I apologize to anyone offended by da-da-da-da-da. That's the lamest kind of apology you can make. When you say, hey, I'm sorry if you were offended by what I said. No, that's not an apology. You can't apologize for the way someone feels. You can only apologize for your own actions. So you can say, I apologize that I put this together. I apologize that I did a thing that is offensive. We didn't say that. Apologize to anyone offended, and I guarantee we'll take steps to protect this in the future. And then in conjunction with this announcement, Balenciaga said that it would drop its $25 million lawsuit against the marketing agency North 6, which put this together. This, too, shows you that Balenciaga bore much more responsibility for the campaign than they wanted to admit. Why are they dropping the lawsuit? They're dropping the lawsuit because it wasn't just some random marketing campaign that they hired that went off on their own and did this crazy thing that Balenciaga condemns. They're dropping the lawsuit because they know that Balenciaga was itself involved in the campaign. They're dropping the lawsuit because Balenciaga's creative director is saying, yeah, I had an artistic vision and that wasn't great. That's why they're doing it. If Balenciaga really thought they could get $25 million from this marketing firm North 6, they would do it. But Balenciaga is not going to bring the lawsuit. Why? Because they don't want to go through discovery and because they think that they're going to lose the case. And now Balenciaga says, we're going to donate instead to organizations focused on protecting children. Oh yeah, and also this whole apology comes 2 weeks after the fact. 2 weeks after the fact because the controversy hasn't died down because there are protests in 20 cities. I do not accept this apology. I do not believe this apology. I think this is crisis communications, major damage control. It does not seem sincere to me at all. And it seems like there is a lot more going on behind the scenes at Balenciaga. And I think people should keep pulling on that thread because every single day, it seems, we learn something new about what's going on behind the scenes there. And it's really weird and creepy and freaky, and we should figure it out. The rest of the show continues now. You don't want to miss it. If you're not a member, click the link in the description and join us.